Hello YouTube, this is Brian Tubbs coming at you with another video. Just to kind of give you guys a little heads up or information on what I've been doing the last few days. I think on the last video I talked about what I was doing, in the shop, just kind of changing some things around, throwing a bunch of stuff out, throwing old metal out, just kind of purging things. And I told you guys that I was going to be adding an outlet off of the sub panel coming out. I was going to be finishing the pocket on my metal rack, and the other thing that I am in the process of doing is making a new stand for my my vise and my my grinder, my bench grinder, because the table that I took out of here, the welding table I had in this section here, I had my vise mounted to it, so when I needed to bend some heavy metal, it was heavy enough and had enough support to support the vise when I had like a steel pole or something trying to bend a flat piece of metal, so it was able to support the vise. So now that I got rid of the table, I'm going to build the stand. It has a 3-inch diameter, it's a tube, and it's about 40 inches tall. This is the bottom plate, the base plate. It's going to be mounted to the floor. It's 1/4 inch, and it's 10 by 10 plate. I've drilled 5/8 holes through the 4 sides, and it's going to mount. I have some bolts coming up out of the floor that holds my tube and flat iron bender, so I'll be using the same bolts on the floor to either mount my vise stand when I need to put a lot of torque on something and trying to bend something, or I can use the same bolts to place the bender around when I'm getting ready to bend something. So this is the bottom plate. This is the pole that I just mentioned. And this is the top plate. So on this side, I will have a vise where I can rotate it fully clockwise or counterclockwise, completely around. Then on this side, I will have my bench grinder on. So if I'm needing to grind tungsten, for the TIG welder, or whatever I need to grind, I can just use this side. And this is 1/4 inch plate. And so what I'm going to do is mount the square tube right in center, and then I'm going to take these gussets. I'm in the process of making some 1/4 inch gussets that are going to fit so if we have to pull up here for added strength, I'm going to take these gussets and weld them right in this section. I'll have 2 on this side, and I'll have 2 smaller ones on this side just for support. I'm using 1/4 inch plate, but when you put a lot of torque, when you're trying to bend 1/8 inch or 10 gauge or whatever plate, it takes a lot of force, a lot of pull down force. So I'll have a clamp, some type of a metal clamp. I might take a pair of crescent wrench. Like I have a crescent wrench. I'll put this on the metal pieces I'm going to bend, and I'll put two pieces of metal between, one on top, one on bottom of the piece I'm going to bend. Then I'll clamp down on that with this. Then I can get a pipe, put on the end of this, and use leverage to bend that thick piece of metal, put it on a smooth curve. I'll put it on like on a pipe, a large pipe I have, to get a good bend. So this will have to be able to support all of that stress. So that's why I'm using thick gussets to help manage with some of that stress. So that's one thing that I'm doing. And this is the other outlet that I added coming off of that sub panel. So this is a 220 60 amp outlet. I have one on that side, this side, another one about 20-25 feet on the other side, on the other wall over there. I was thinking about doing a video on it, showing you guys how I did it and all that stuff, but I figured it will probably be best or better that I didn't show how it was done. I'd rather you guys, if you don't know how to run electricity, that you would call in an electrician to do it. But this is the wire I used. It is 6 gauge, and this is your normal everyday so-called heavy-duty extension cord. This is 15 gauge on your extension cord. This is 6 gauge. This 6 gauge, one wire of 6 gauge is as thick as 3 wires on the inside of this extension cord. The way that people burn down buildings and whatnot is by trying to run too much amperage through too small of a cable. So I've seen people try and run 60 amps through an extension cord. Extension cord overheats, fire starts, and then they're running around trying to figure out how to put the fire out. So what you want to do is get the right wire, or get too much wire for what you're trying to do. Like with a 60 amp breaker, you can use either a number 6 wire, or you can use a number 4 wire, or you can go down to number 2 or whatever it is. But number 6 is that matched wire for a 60 amp breaker. But again, I could have gone with 4 gauge wire, but 6 amps, 6 gauge wire is the proper wire for it. And this is your extension cord again, and this is the cable that I ran through that conduit. So this wire, it's called service wire. It has 3 of these. It's actually 4 of these number 6 wires inside of this one sheathing. You have a red wire, you have a black wire, a white wire, and a bare ground wire, all inside of this cable. And it's coming from that panel to this outlet. And with running 220, I just needed 2 wires and a ground. So we just capped off the white wire. We didn't use that on either end. We just used the red, the black, and the ground wire inside of the box. Now again, if you want to do this, call in an electrician if you don't know how to do it. But I was going to show the interior of the box and all that stuff, but I figured it was better if I didn't do that. But I got that all hooked up. It's good to go. And then the other project I was working on was putting an extra bin or pocket on the end of my metal holding bin. And I'll just kind of pan you guys around so you can see what I'm talking about. I mentioned in the last video, and this is the bin. I mean, it has the wood portion on the front that's encased in metal, and it holds all my long pieces. If there's some scrap pieces left over from a cut that I made from a larger piece, it goes in there. And then on the back, I have some sheets of metal on the back side, and then the little pocket that I made goes here. It's right here. It's holding the smaller pieces of metal that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using this piece of metal probably in the next hour or so. So it's just another clip to hold like rectangle tubing. This is stainless steel 3x3 tube, if you will. There's some other smaller pieces in here, and again on the back side is where I put my large sheets of metal. I have some metal. I have to be ordering some metal within the next day or so. Some more Core 10, because I got we're getting an order for blocks again, Child's Play. It seems like the more I try to get away from that piece, the more people want the piece. And then we did a show this past weekend in Bowling Green, Ohio. And a lady that bought a large piece from us last year came back and wanted another piece, a little bit smaller, but for outdoors. And if you guys remember the piece we call Waves, it's this all stainless steel piece, and it has the 3 stainless steel balls in the center of it. It goes up and kind of loops around and has the 3 balls in it. She wanted that piece. We had it sitting in the booth at the show yesterday. A couple came up to us while she was standing there talking to her friends, and the couple said that they came on Saturday. They saw Waves. They didn't buy it, but they woke up Sunday morning and asked themselves amongst each other, why didn't we buy that piece? So they rushed back down to the show, came to us, told us the story, and they said, we want that piece. It was Waves with the 3 balls. Now the lady that wanted it before they came wanted it for outdoors. So what we decided to do was sell the couple that wanted the piece that was in the booth. We'll sell them that piece because they wanted it for indoors. And I told the lady that wanted it, that bought the other piece, that I'll make her one a little bit more robust than the piece that was in the booth, because it's going to be outdoors. So the piece that waves that you guys have seen in the other videos, it stands probably I don't know, maybe 22 inches in total, somewhere in there, base to top. But what the lady wants is for the piece to stand 3 feet tall. So I told her we'll just sell the other piece to the couple that was there, and we'll make her a special piece. So what I'm going to do is go from 22 inches to 3 feet. So I'm going to make each of the stainless steel wave portions wider at the top, which will make them wider toward the bottom, which will make it a lot more sturdy and stable for the outdoor conditions. And then on the base, we're going to go from it being an inch to probably, I don't know, 10 inches, 12 inches maybe a foot. And then she wants the little tabs that we put, we call them feet, that you can put rods through, that you can secure it to cement, or you can put threaded rod through it if you're going to put it on just, you know, dirt or somewhere like in a garden. So after I get finished with this project, getting this up and out of my way, I'm going to start on her piece, hopefully tomorrow. Got to cut out all the stainless steel, get the balls and all that stuff ready, and then I'm going to make the upper portion first, and then we're going to measure how far we need to go down as far as making the base. And then once I do all of that, I got to treat the piece just like it would be treated if we were going to make a large outdoor piece. It has to be passivated. We have to go behind the passivation with another chemical. We have to do all these things so that the piece won't rust outside. Even though it's stainless, stainless will still rust if it's not treated properly. So we had to go through all the stuff to get this piece ready for outdoors. She's a really nice lady, very wealthy lady. She loves my wife and I. She was looking for us on Saturday but didn't see us. She went right past us and we didn't see her. So she and her friends came back on Sunday, and she got on me for not being there on Saturday, which I was sitting right there in front of the booth. And so we had good laughs, and she paid us there and wanted us to deliver it in a week or 2 weeks or whatever it will be. And so that's kind of what I'm doing now. And also, hopefully on the next video, I think I promised you guys that I would show you the dance in its completed stages. And I was going to show you guys the sails. When I was saying it would be stacked on top of each other going up a pole. I got that finished, so hopefully I'll be able to show you guys that piece. So that's going to do it for this video. And again, I was just kind of giving you guys a kind of a heads up on what I was doing. I'm going to jump on this guy, get this finished within the next, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours at the most. Get it out of my way. Mount the vise and the grinder on it. Set it to the side. Then I got to get started on her piece. And then we sold another piece called Tipping Point, stainless steel piece. I got to do another one of those. And then I think I showed in a previous video a piece called Masquerade. I think I showed that on a previous video. We sold that large piece. I'm not sure if I'm going to make that one right away. I might hold off because I think I'm going to change some of the way we did it. I mean, the way we did it the first time was greater to hold up for 100 years. But but I think I might make it taller or wider or something. I might do something a little bit different because I don't like to make the same piece the same way each time. And then we got another couple that wants another piece, possible, maybe a commission piece, or they might just want the piece that they saw. So we'll be in contact with them shortly. So overall, it was a really good show. We have this coming weekend off, but we'll have another show the following weekend, and then another show in Kentucky the weekend after that, and then we're getting calls from show promoters wanting us to do just more and more shows. So we're just kind of going with the flow. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video, and I will look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. And I'll just be giving you more updates on what we're doing and all that kind of stuff. All right, guys, it's Brian Tubbs again. I will talk to you on the next one. Peace out.